Hello, this is Glenn Main and you are watching liveprog.
Welcome to liveprog. I am your host Marcel Haster. In April 2013 I visited the E-Day Festival in Oorschot in the Netherlands. This is an electronic music festival, and the nice thing about this festival is that next to the fantastic performances there, you have an area where labels and musicians present their music. So of course I always look around and see if I can discover some new things, especially because I am kind of in a journey, a quest to discover the magic of electronic music. Now I chatted with a man there and I listened to a part of the album he had there, and I can tell you, less than 10 seconds after I heard the first track, I knew I had to have that album. He was very kind enough to give me a copy of that album so that I could review it and share it with you. It was this album, Mode Zen by Venja. Before we move on to the music, a little background on the musician, the man behind Venja, Johan Geens. He's from Belgium, and I looked up his website, venja.com, and I read his short biography, and I was a bit intrigued by it because I liked the path he followed in creating his music and coming where he is right now. He started out very young. You know, it won't surprise you, many good musicians nowadays have started when they were a young boy on self-made instruments. In his case, pots and pans and boxes, drums. He got music lessons, he learned to play flute, guitar, keyboards, and we're getting there. And of course, he moved on to synthesizers when he discovered them. But he liked the synthesizers so much that he didn't only play them, no, he also learned his way around electronics and in the end built his own synthesizer. Now, I think that is very impressive. And then, you know, you really are at the heart of the music because you don't understand the way to play it, but also the technology behind it, and you can fully utilize that in the music. Then he started his first band and moved on, and in 1987 he released his first music to the world on cassette. And from there on, you know, he just kept on releasing music on cassette, later on CD, of course, until the moment that we arrive at this point where we have his latest release, Mode Zen. Again, if you look at his biography and if you look at his discography on the website, you will notice that just by looking at the album covers, his music looks very new age. And again, a title like Mode Zen, you know, yes, it gives you the idea of tranquility, calmness, peacefulness, new age. Well, sometimes it's also being called chill out music or ambient. They're all descriptions basically to describe a very relaxing music. Very soft, very calming, very soothing. Listening to this album, it is divided in 11 tracks, but it could have been one track. This is an album you never, ever have to put on shuffle or random play or whatever. You have to put in the CD, hit play and relax. And just listen all the way through the album, and you will notice that it has a very natural flow. Why did it click with me so quickly? It made an instant connection. The first track, here you have the track listing. As you can see, it's a very nice digipack. You have the imagery. It's very simple, very minimalistic artwork, but again, it enhances the idea of, you know, tranquility and relaxing, you know, not too busy everything. The first track, Elevating Dream. The reason why is I think because of the rhythmic element in the music. Maybe it has to do with the fact that he started out his musical career on homemade drums, but this whole rhythmic element stays in the music. This nice, well, sort of rhythmic beat you find there. The closest reference point I can give you, if you want to have a basic idea of what this is Enigma. I really like the album. I really enjoy, as I said, the natural flow. It is divided into several tracks, but you know, you don't notice it when you listen to the music. And it's not that it's a monotonous album, absolutely not. There's a lot of variety in the music. There's a lot to discover, and one thing that absolutely struck me when I was listening to the album, and not just on the computer speakers, but you know, on my good stereo set, is the amazing production of this album, the amazing mix. It is so crystal clear, and when you listen to it, you hear these effects, and wow, it's really amazing album, and it has a lot of surprises. You know, it may quickly get a stamp, it is new age. I am a very down-to-earth guy, you know. I'm not really a new age type of person. Nevertheless, I have discovered that I really enjoy this album very much. It has become one of my favorite EM albums of everything I have heard and gathered so far. It stands out a little bit because a lot of electronic music quickly relates to Klaus Schulze, Tangerine Dream, Jean-Michel Jarre, Vangelis. This one doesn't. Again, I said, you know, the only reference point I personally, you know, well, how do you say that? The only reference point that came to me when I was listening to this album was Enigma, nothing else. And even that, because Enigma is also very varied and not every album sounds the same. So this is more like the first one or two albums that you hear some resemblance in it. So a bit of a standout album in the electronic music. At least that's my opinion and that's my experience. And again, you know, I am a bit of a noob in electronic music, so maybe I'm completely off the charts. I don't know, but this is my opinion, and I gotta say, I absolutely recommend this album. The nice thing is that in this variety, at the end of the album, Johan has some nice surprises as well, because he invited some guests, and that is again something you don't hear that much in electronic music, because if you have that in electronic music, you quickly move over more to the synth pop side, the dance side of music. But there are two vocalists taking part in this album, and two different vocalists, and again, that is something I find very unique, and that is another reason why this album absolutely stands out. The background of the vocalists he uses. The last three tracks, you know, that's nice. It's at the end. It's the last three tracks. They are vocal, but track number 9, Passing By, the vocalist on that track is called Reinhilde Weytjens, and this lady is an opera singer, soprano. You know, has a very unique voice, and of course, you know, a matter of personal taste comes in, but I really like that song very much because of the atmosphere it brings, because of the change in atmosphere the vocals add, and at the same time it stands out because of the vocals, but at the same time it feels natural that it's on the album. And the last two tracks, Cold for Years and Touch the Sky, are another vocalist. I have to check, Hilde Vanhove. And I looked up her website, and she is a jazz singer. And again, you know, this is not what you would expect on an album such as this, but also the last two tracks, and they especially Cold for Years, again creates another different atmosphere, and almost hard to describe, but you gotta listen to that song. Really, it's really a treat. So I think, you know, this is the first album of Venja I have heard. I've noticed on his website that he made a lot more. I also read that he's working on a new album already, so he's a very busy guy. Something else I definitely have to mention, I have to show it to you. You can see it right here. B-Wave. That is something fairly new, and I've been following that on Facebook. Germany has a lot of electronic music, in Holland also, in England also. Recently, Belgium also founded B-Wave, a bit of a sort of a community, an organization to support Belgian electronic musicians. You may have noticed on my website that recently I reviewed an album by Nisus called Electronic Medication. Nisus also comes from Belgium and is also, joined in this B-Wave, same as Venja. Venja also performs live, another thing you should look at. But B-Wave is trying to do in Belgium what, for example, Groove Unlimited is doing in Holland. Groove Unlimited organizes 2 festivals, E-Day and E-Live, every year. B-Wave is also working on a festival in Belgium. To promote the Belgian electronic music. Well, if you have people like Nisus, but also like Venja, bringing out these fantastic releases, then I say they are on the right track and they deserve absolutely some support. As for me, I love this album. It touched me very deeply. I can't say it blew me away because that would not fit in the whole Zen idea. So it touched me, definitely. It touched my soul. As I said, I am a down-to-earth guy, but nevertheless, this had an emotional impact on me, and I really enjoy this very much. So I would say check this album out. You can listen to samples on his website. You can listen to his music on YouTube. Look him up, listen to this music, and buy the music. Support electronic music, support music wherever you can, and buy the real thing. So, from me to you, Venja, Mode Zen.